Hello and a very good evening to you. Yes, it's 6 o'clock. That means we're launching a brand new one-day special. We're back here with StudioLight, some brand new items for you as well, and they're absolutely beautiful. In fact, I can tell you, you've found them already because you're already shopping ahead. So don't miss out that we're going to have a busy, busy show. Now, the one-day special itself, I'm going to go to that first of all. It's the dies and the stamps that we can see there. Now, you've got two different options. So this one here that you're looking at on screen now is a Summer Bloom. Beautiful these, aren't they? I can't wait to see these in action. There we are. And then we've got another option for you as well. We've got Summer Adventure. So you can see that you've got the dies and you've got the stamps there as well. Absolutely stunning. What a great price as well. Now, dispatch date from the 8th of May, so not long to wait. We're into May tomorrow, would you believe it? £6 saving on the one-day special. You have got those two options. You can go for both of them if you want to. So you're saving that £6, £19.97. So if you want to go for both, you get that saving twice, obviously. 109433 is the item number. Now, we do have more for you because we've got a complete collection. So if you want to go for all those dies and stamps, but you also want the papers as well, well, this is what you can go for. The complete collection is here, brand new today, of course. This is a one-day special. We'll have a look at these papers in a little bit more detail as well, because you are getting the 12 by 12s and also the A4. Now, we've got a freedom price on this one as well, a freedom saving. Look at this, saving £10 and 59 pence if you're a freedom member. And you've got that freedom flexi as well, so we can break this down for you, two payments of £25 and 17 pence. So don't forget, you are getting the dies and stamps and you're getting the papers. Now, if you love the papers as we look at these, you can get those individually as well. Keep an eye at the bottom of the screen for the details there. Now, you will get the 12 by 12s and the A4 that I'm going to show you. So you're getting two of each design. So I'm just going to show you each design here because they are double-sided. How pretty is the colour palette here? This is absolutely stunning. Gorgeous. That's very sort of soft peachy colour there with the minty green, the aqua sort of colour. Really pretty. You've got texture to it as well. It doesn't actually feel textured, but it looks it. It certainly looks as though if you're going to feel that, it looks like fabric, doesn't it? It looks like a linen effect. Beautiful, beautiful colours. Look at this. And then with the peach in there again, you've got those kind of blues. I think they're forget-me-nots at the bottom there. Aren't these beautiful? Anything that's got kind of that weathered wood look as well, I think is gorgeous. They are absolutely stunning. Look at this. You're getting two of each, so if you do like both sides, you want to use both sides, you've got the options. Remember, you are getting the A4s. I've not even shown you those yet. Look at the detail on that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, how pretty. Great for your scrapbooking, great if you want to cut these down as well. Great for overstamping, if you want to overstamp. Beautiful. Right, let's have a look at the A4 ones because, of course, you're getting these as well. So with your A4, these are also double-sided. So again, we've got kind of that fabric look. It's more like a burlap, isn't it, that one? Or a Hessian. And then you've got the beautiful green and peach colour palette in that one as well. Oh, these are so pretty. I have to flip one or two of them round. Do you know, don't the blues work really well with this colour palette as well? Look at that. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Oh, I can't wait to see the videos. Let's look at this one. So look at that. You could cut that out if you wanted to, or just use that as a panel as it is. Maybe you want to use the whole page. Do you know, there's so many ways of working with these. And the blue weathered wood effect there as well. And if I turn that around, you've got more of the forget-me-nots there with some of that fruit in there and the little peach flowers. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There you go. So for the whole collection, you have got that payment split down. You've got the flexi there, freedom flexi as well. You're making a big saving if you're a freedom member. Item number 605175. Now, I've got one or two samples as well I could show you here as well. So whether you're using the whole of an A4, whether you're cutting into it, whether you want to stamp over the top, you certainly can do. I love how these colours work together. You know, just using the papers, or if you've got your own dies, embossing folders, you want to add colour in a different way, there is so many different options. Now, I think some of the samples I've got at the back here probably correspond to one or two items we're coming up a little bit later as well. So I'm trying to pick out which ones I'm showing you actually. Oh, now I've spotted one that's definitely in with this collection. You know, I spoke about the blues. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Really, really pretty. Now, I haven't finished with the paper pads as well because we've got the 12 by 12, we've got the A4, but we've also got the paper pads here as well, the 6 by 6. If you want those individually, you can get them for £9.99. Not each, you're getting both of them for that price. These are pretty. Oh, these open? Yes, they are. I'm going to try and do it the right way up. No, I can't. I'm going to turn it that way. There's one that I really need to flip it around because it's not making sense. I will do. Aren't these pretty? Oh, I think I want these as well now. Oh, busy on this as well. I've got to say 10% of the complete collection now gone. If you were paying attention to the 12 by 12s, the A4s, you're seeing the designs running through these books as well. But in smaller print, obviously. Perfect just to work with straight away. Let me just grab the other one, see what we've got in there as well. Oh, now then. I am again upside down. I'm sorry about this, but if I hold it the other way, you can't flick the same. I know these are upside down, but how pretty are these? This one's probably got a little bit more colouring in the way of the blue and the peach and the greens, although it's still very muted, very soft, very sort of dreamy. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. Do you know, just overstamping a little bit of ink. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There we are. So that's the whole collection. Details still on the screen. Keep an eye out for those individual prices as well. Do you know, I'm just going to bring those cards back in because these were taken from those 6x6s that I've just shown you. Part of the full collection. But just, you can see there using your dies and going for certain elements or fussy cutting around bits and pieces. Everything works, doesn't it? Now I'm going to show you these as well because, of course, in the full collection, you are getting the dies and the stamps as well. And one of the stamps has got the balloons in them. This is really effective. I like that. Each one of those is slightly different where the balloon's been stamped, so it looks as though it's travelling. Really nice indeed. Another one there with the balloon on as well. Gorgeous. Love it. Love the colours of these. Absolutely stunning. Right, we are busy as well. Let's have a look. Oh, what else have I got down here? I'm just see if I'm... Do you know, we've got, I think somebody's been loving the balloons because I keep finding balloon cards here. Well, another one here. In fact, oh, we're busy as well. Almost 20% of the complete collection has now gone. We're only 7 minutes in. Really, really beautiful. We haven't got hundreds and hundreds of samples here, but what we have got are absolutely beautiful. Oh, let me look. I'm going to open this one. Oh, look at this. Look at the little, oh, how sweet is that? That must be one of the papers in one of the books, I think. Look at this. How beautiful. Oh, these colours. The more I look at it, the more I fall in love with these. Just stunning. And there's another little book, actually. This one's been done with the stamps and the balloon again. Let me just take that label off. There we are. Look at that. Do you know, you can go very grungy. You can keep it nice and bright. You can keep it very soft and dreamy. There we are. Stunning. Just a reminder of the details again, 605175 is the item number for the full collection. Now, if you're not a Freedom member, you've still got a saving of £5, but if you're a Freedom member, that's where the savings are, and the Flexi-Buy option as well. Now, I'm so delighted to say that we've got our Lou on the phone. I can't wait to talk to her. Are you there, Lou? She's here by...
Hello?
By Skype. Look, there she is. Oh, you're looking very lovely.
I've got a bit of the, what do you call it on? Oh, flipping it, what's it called? Colour, that's the one.
Well, it suits you. You look very nice, and your lipstick matches perfectly.
Oh, I'm not used to this lipstick stuff.
Well, you're looking lovely, Lou.
I've probably got it all over my teeth, but never mind.
Tell me about this collection. This is gorgeous. I've got to say the colour palette is stunning. Really, really beautiful. The papers, you've got the peach and you've got the greens and the blues in there. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's all going a bit...
Have you...
I don't know what I'm listening to. I'm listening to...
We can hear you. Can you not hear us?
Right, okay. I'm going to ignore what's going on in the background and just concentrate on you.
Okay.
Right, here we go.
Tell me what you think about the collection.
Right, well, when I was first looking at this, it really doesn't look like my sort of thing. And I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? And I really appreciate having this challenge. And then as I was going through it and I started to do the 3D things and changing it up. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So it made me stretch my imagination. Then the colours I was seeing, the orange and the blues together, they just completely changed my mind about a colour scheme and about ideas. And as soon as I did that, off I went. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Well, I've got to say, I fell in love with the colour scheme straight away. They're very, very me for colour. But I'm so pleased you enjoyed working with them. And it is nice to sort of be stretched a little bit sometimes and go out of your comfort zone.
Oh
dear.
Well, I think we all get stuck in that rut, don't we? And
Yeah,
that's what we need to get sort of away from. And I think so sometimes we sort of we're too. I'm very guilty of makeup for me, so I tend to think, well, forget that. What do other people like? And then that really sort of livens up what you do. And I got out me alcohol
yeah.
pens, got out all different things that were normally locked away in the cupboard. So I think that's really helped me. Really helped me.
Definitely. Well, we're looking forward to seeing your tutorials. We're very busy, I've got to say, on the full collection already. We're not far into the show, but we are extremely busy. Lovely that we've got the options to break this down if we want, but most people are going for the full collection. Just sum up for me, why would you say do that? Why would you go for the full collection?
Well, I've just seen the price and I wasn't privy to that. People know I'm not privy to the price. And when I saw it, I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was, so in that sense, look at all the dies you've got and they'll cover all sorts of occasions and look at all the stamps you've got. You've got a range there for every person and every sort of occasion. And I think it's something, 20 quid per set. That's a couple of quid a day, isn't it?
Yeah,
For a
yeah,
month,
amazing value, absolutely amazing value. And the fact that with the full collection, not only the dies and the stamps, you've got the 12 by 12 papers, you've got the A4, and you've got 2 of the 6 by 6s as well. So you've got all those sizes that you want to work with for different reasons. Because sometimes we want bigger prints, sometimes we want smaller prints, and you've got everything you need, haven't you?
Yeah, and a couple of them. It's funny, really, because I haven't seen the samples you've got. I've got my samples here, so I haven't seen the girls. And it's amazing how we've all spotted the same things. And I've just took 12 by 12 and took the piece out of it, and then I've spotted the same thing going. So it's obvious that it triggered
Yeah.
all sorts of things from the same point, but we're all in different ways. So I've actually really enjoyed doing this. Really enjoyed it.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to say a big thank you, Lou. We can't wait to see you back here whenever that may be, but it's lovely seeing you there on our screens. Connection was a little bit dodgy, but we got there.
Yay!
But we will see you in the demonstrations, or at least your hands, and we'll see your marvellous work, of course. So you look after yourself, take care,
And
thank
you're
you
doing
for
a brilliant
us.
job. Absolutely brilliant.
Aw, thanks, Lou.
Take
Love
care.
you. See you soon. Bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Oh, how lovely. Do you know, I love being able to see everybody on the screen there. So there we are. Let's have a look. We're going to go straight to a video now with Lou. We've got part 1 of our first demonstration.
We've got the balloon stamp now, and I really like this balloon because I love the colours and the shading of it, and I thought I'll do something to one of the ones I did before. I like to show you a quick outline of what I want to do. I want to create an aperture card. So let me get rid of this. This is an old card now. I know it looks bad, but I would always chop this up later and reuse it. So what I've done is I've cut an aperture there, and I'm going to keep the aperture for something on later on. But then I've stamped on my piece of paper, another piece, I've stamped the balloon totally on it, and then I've drawn the circle, because don't forget that's going to sit in there. So that gives me a reference point of where, just there like that, of where I'm going to stamp. So you'll think, well, what's the point of that? Well, I'm going to stamp the balloon again, and I'm going to have it superimposed, decoupaged, so it's on the top. But meanwhile, this bit is where I stamp. So this is a reference point for me. So take that away. So now what I've got is this little piece here with a balloon on, and I'm going to say, right, well, what do I like? So do I put the sun there and some clouds? And it really doesn't matter how you do it. Now, yeah, the sun will be there and then the clouds will be above it. So you sort of just think, well, okay, let's go for it. So I'm using black now. You don't have to. You could use grey again just to give it a little bit more, sort of less in your face. Now I'm using grey, but this is going to be covered. So I'm just going to go for the horizon bit there. Perfect. So then I'm going to go with the next part of maybe the clouds. I'm only going to put one in. So I've got the clouds there, or I could have the smaller clouds, but I don't want it to look as twee. So I quite like that there. And I'm not worried about this because this over stamping any of that doesn't really matter because I'm covering it up. So I'm just going to do that. Right, perfect, quite like that. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I am going to stamp this along that edge. So I've only put the ink there, and I'm just going to run that there. And you think, well, why have you done that? Well, I'm going to create that with the hills. So I've used it up there, the hills. If I just put it in there to show you, you'll see now with a bit of colour, I can create some hills on top there. So stamp it all out. Now we're introducing colour. So we want colour in the background, maybe around the sun. And again, look at the card for your influences, how you feel. Is this how you want it to be? Do you like that look? So that's how we've got there. I'm going to come away now. You can use watercolour or you can use anything you want. You could use your distress inks, anything. So I'm going to sort of use pencils, use pens, pencils, anything that I fancy. I'm just going to put a little bit of colour down, like these are watercolour pencils, so I am not at all worried about this because I will blend them all out. And just to explain what I've done is I'm going to go sort of deeper into the middle. So I've just got a line of yellow, yeah, a line of orange underneath, and then a line of red, and this looks atrocious like this, I understand that, but once I start blending colours together, so I'm just going to show you like this, and then what we'll do is I will colour the landscape and maybe the clouds, and you'll be able to sort of get on and do your own colouring. So again, you start, use your red out, just a little bit of water to your red, then clean your brush off and get a little bit of yellow coming down. Clean your brush off again. Put your orange to your darker orange. Clean your brush, and it just keep blending, and you've got that wonderful sort of edge. And then you can put some lines there. I've not cleaned my brush, and then go away, colour it how you want, and we'll be back with the balloon. What I've done is I've used a little bit of sparkle in the background, so I've created the balloon. Don't worry about that because that's going to be in the background. Created the balloon. I just wanted to show you this because I created the landscape using the clouds. You just turn it upside down. So all I've done to get this effect is I have just sort of where the lines were, just move this out of the way for you, where the lines were, instead of going all wiggly, I've gone straight. So this would in essence be darker at the front. So again, you just bring in your colour, go off your mark, it doesn't matter. And again, bring a little bit of colour down here. Now you might want to put different colours in. The lightest colour of all will be further away from you, but let them blend. So that would be like near to the actual sun. So quite happy with that. Blend a few colours out. Leave that to dry because it's quite bright. Bring a little bit down here, and then I'll show you why. Leave it to dry because this is going to fit under there. So what I'm going to do now is really easily to fit back in there, really easily sort of stamp out that and then concentrate on the balloon being here. So I've got that. I've got a piece of card underneath my stamp platform. I'm going to use black for this. Well, you can use any colour you want. Oh, got a smudge on there. Oh, didn't know. So use that. Stamp really well because there's lots of little fine lines here. That isn't going to look good. I'm wondering whether to change. No, can't change it. So it'll have to be. But I'm not really worried because we can put patterns in, and that's what I was going to do anyway to show you. You can change up the balloon so it doesn't. Now I can see a little air bubble there, so I know that if I'm not careful, but it won't stamp. But it's not the stamp's fault, it's me, I've not pressed it down. But I know using the platform, see it is there, that I can go back in. Just a little bit of ink missing there. See, this is why, when you've not got a stamper like me, perfect. Having this ability is perfect for it. So, I've got my balloon there. What I'm going to do now is add some colours and some depth to it. You must, it's an oil-based, so you must let it dry. But that's going to sit on over the top. but just so I can handle it, I am not going to sort of cut it out just yet. I'm going to wet some of my watercolours, and I'm going to look at the way this has been coloured here, because I have got the blues and the greens in this. I want it to complement that. I don't want it to be fighting. So it's quite a lot in the background, but I want to concentrate on this. So if you look at your colour wheel, the best colours to go for would be purples. But we'll see, because I am actually quite liking these colours here. So again, use your watercolour pencils, use your watercolours, either or. I'll do a bit with both. So I have got my lovely colours here, and I've got, it's almost like it's a teal. So if I just show it you on the edge, it's a beautiful teal. So it will complement the colours in there, and you can add a little bit if you want, so that it does. So if you wanted to, and to make sure that they match, just put a little bit in there like that, and then you know it's going to match with it. So just the teal. Now the art to this, I always remember I was my French teacher, and that's why I learnt French. I loved French. Madame Horrich. Oh, I loved French, because we used to do painting and the words, and we used to have these little characters, and she showed me her way of colouring, and I still do it to this day. Still do it. It's really strange how it stays with you, and that was to basically outline. Now I took it a little bit further, and again that is a little bit too big for me. I've got a thinner brush. I'm going to introduce the water to the middle and to the edges. I am not trying to touch it. Might not be all right with this actually. Water to the edges, and allow the paint to blend. A bit more water. You can add it, but if you start trying to take it away, it ruins it. So what you tend to do is keep doing this. So do that, keep wiggling, and I'm just going to do this area green, lift some colour, and maybe blue and yellow, orange to match it. So I'll colour this in, and I will see you back here when I've finished.
Oh, thank you, Lou. Yes, we will be back with part 2 in a little while. Now, until we get back with Lou, let's give you a heads up about 1 or 2 other items, actually. Now, you have found them, actually. I didn't need to tell you about them. It's the first time we've seen them live. They're both new. You have found them. Take advantage again at the great prices, because you're saving £6. Now, you get 2 journaling dies here, the Mandala and the Circle Fold. Now, these are lovely. And there's a lot of metal in these as well. So because the Mandala, I have got samples to show you as well, but I think looking at the dies itself, you can see you've got lots of different options there. Now you've got various dies within that set. It's not just one die. You've got the frames there. You've got the option of doing the mandala and cutting the detail out, or doing the solid outline there as well. I'm just going to turn that onto its side so you can see it there, and I'm going to turn the packaging over actually. There you can see the actual die itself. There is a little image of the detail of it, but if I turn it around so you can see the bigger image there. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. But you're getting 2 dies, so let's have a look at the second one. This is our journaling die. This one is called the Circle Folds. So they're kind of like those tickets, aren't they? You've got the perforation down there as well. Again, various different dies in here. It's not just one die. If I turn that round to the back so you can see it, I have got 1 or 2 samples just to show you as well. Really lovely. Just £19.98 for these. So if you want to go for this bundle, that's the shape of the dies that you're getting with the circle folds. So these could be fold out pages in an actual album, or make the album itself with this. You've got scope, haven't you there? You've got options. I can see different ways you could change that die around as well. Do some clever things with that. And of course the mandala one, really beautiful because you've got the detail in there. If you want to use it, you can go with just a solid if you want, or go with both. But there's a clever sample here as well. By attaching this together, you can make a whole mandala rather than just have that detail on the ends there. Look, you've got a whole framework going on there. Isn't that beautiful? So £19.98, that carries that £6 saving there. 766179 is the item number, and 10% of the stock has already gone. Don't miss out on that. If you've gone for the journaling dies before, then you know how good they are. This is a new set for you. Now we have got another set of dies for you as well. We've got the Floral Border. And we've also got, oh, I really like this one. You've got the Corroded Edges as well. Now, I haven't got a sample. I can't see a sample for the Floral Border, but you can see the beautiful detail in that die. These are really nice. Let me just turn that around so you can see what you've got there. Isn't that pretty? Absolutely beautiful. Use it for your cards, for your albums again, for your pages, your journals. Do you know, you've got scope, you've got different options. But I've got to say, I love, love, love this one because it's as though you've just ripped out those pages out of a notebook, isn't it? I have got a sample to show you that there as well. Look at that. Do you know, I didn't actually see these dies until I saw the sample first, and I thought that's exactly what someone had done. They just torn that page out, but you don't have to do any tearing. You can just create these yourself. The over stamping there as well looks really, really nice. So again, lots of options with this one. Lovely set. 2 die sets there, the Floral Border and the Corroded Edges, £19.98. Again, a £6 saving on this one. Item number 023219, and we are busy on that one as well. Let's get back to Lou though and see part 2 of that wonderful demonstration.
What I want to use now is May Life Lift You Up, and I want to use this cloud again because I used it before for the landscape, but I'm going to use it again for the bit of words. So I'm going to stamp in the grey again with this, and I'm going to stamp on a block. And the reason I'm using this is because I'm going to stamp the words in it. So if I just show you that I've got the ink, which is a grey, and I'm going to try, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to cut it out, the grey, perfect. But then what I want to do is take that one away and put the May Life Lift You Up. Now, I've got a terrible way of, that's right, of doing it upside down around the corner. So I've got that there, so I've got me, now because I'm using black I can see it. So, and these, don't forget, are oil based, so they will be okay. So I'm just going to pull it down a little bit to see. I'm going to make sure it's in there. Perfect. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some colour to that, because what I've done is I've done the background now. I've done that. I've coloured the background, and anywhere I thought put a bit of glitter on, as you do. Done the balloon, chopped that out, and that's ready to go there. So always remember there's bits here where you need to colour. Then this will actually sit up there or down here, whichever way. But I'll go away and do that, and then we'll put the whole card together and finish. Right, okay, I've stamped that all up, and you can see it's black, but the clouds are grey. And I've got some watercolour pencils here, and I always do this, is just test which ones I like. I like them all actually, but I'm just going to go with a tiny bit of watercolour as well. So if you wanted to do the watercolour, you just get a tiny bit of one of the colours that you've used, and I'm just going to put, see, that's way too heavy. So this is the beauty of this. It wipes off really well. So you're just going to put a little bit on, just where it bobbly bits, get a bit of water on, like this, blend it in, but before it dries, wipe it off. So you've got a very light touch with it. You don't want it to be heavy. So you don't have to be perfect with it. You just want to wipe on, get some water on it, blend it out, take it off. And you can keep doing this. You can use another bit of colour I might go for. I'll show you what it looks like with this. So you just sort of colour. See, might need a little bit more where you go on. You can use the end of your brush. Never dip these in water ever, because the water goes up the shaft of the pencil and that's it. It swells it up. It's not good. So always remember, I've seen people doing this and they'll say, "Oh, just wet it. It's all right." No, it is not. You want to keep that away. I can dip the edge in like that to colour, but never dip the wood in as well. And you can use these pencils like this if you want to as a palette. So all I'm doing is going over the lines, bringing the colour back in, and then if I want a little bit less colour there, just really go in, because it's a watercolour, I can go in there. But don't forget, if your pencils, you want a little bit more extra around there, go in with your pencils. So then what I'm going to do is just chop this up, come back in when I've chopped it up and put all the card together, and then, oh, didn't want to do that, just it's halfway around the living room that. There we go. Now, I would force dry it or leave it to dry, whichever you want. But now we're going to cut that out, and then we're going to bring it all back together and all the card and assemble it. I love this bit when it comes together. I really like this little card. So I've got this far, and what I've done is I've put some foam on the back, and I've built it up. That's got 4 layers on it, and this has got 3 layers. And I once went on a balloon ride, and it was the most astonishing thing I'd ever done. And it was over the Pennines. Oh, it was stunning. It was so silent, and it reminds me now at this present time how quiet it is, but not even the birds. But it was just hearing the balloon and seeing. Oh, it's amazing. If you ever get a chance, go. The landing was brilliant because it scared the life out of me. We've sort of hit the ground running. So anyway, I've got this, and I would put a little bit more down there, and I was thinking to add something different to this even more. It would be to add string to it. So really bend the card round. It might be that it's too much and you want to go back over there. Don't worry if it's too much. Just keep bending. Just if you've gone like that and you think, no, that's too much, just push your pen in underneath and just roll it out again. It'll be fine. So I've got that one on there, which I really like. That pencil line will rub out, but I put the same on here. It might be a bit heavy. It might be a bit much, this. Might have to take some off. But I wanted it to be sort of, oh, that's way too big. So I'll take a couple off and then put a bit of glue on it then. And then the glue helps you to sort of move it around as you go anyway. So I thought you could have it under the balloon or over the balloon like that. So even that might be a bit too big, but quite like it sort of like that, like a cloud. Now, when I was looking at I was getting a pen out, I saw this, and this is just so apt. Sometimes the winds of change carry us to better places, and I just thought I had to do it. I had to do it along there. And this is from one, I can't remember which one. Can't remember which one of the collections, but it was meant to be. So washi tape down there, and I would perhaps look at the depth of these. It might be a little bit too much, but you get the general idea of, look at your finish. Oh, I really like that. Look at your finished pieces. Go back to basics. Get your colours on. I really like that. Rub that line out. It's annoying me now. And then get your other bits. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did making it. Loved it.
Oh, I'm sure everybody enjoyed that, Lou. I certainly did. And I'm glad you did too. Lovely, lovely sample there, as you can see at the end of the demonstration. Now, let's give you a reminder of what we've actually got, because this is the launch hour for the one-day special, and we are very, very busy. Now, I'm going to go straight to complete collection, because most of you are going for this one. We are very busy. 20% of the stock has gone already. We're only halfway through the first hour, remember. Now, this is a great saving, especially if you're a Freedom member. You are saving £10.59. And we've got that flexi option for you as well. Now, what are you getting? We're just panning across everything there. You're getting dies, you're getting stamps in this. We're looking at the full collection, remember, here. But you're not just getting the stamps and the dies, you're also getting the beautiful papers as well. Now, we're talking double-sided 12x12s. We're also talking double-sided A4s, and also 2 6x6 paper pads as well. I'm just going to go through the different designs of the papers again for you. Lovely quality, I've got to say. And if you do want to add further ink or overstamp or spray or emboss or do those different things, you can do all of those as well. Now, I was drawn to this straight away because I do adore the colour palette, that peach and the blue and the green in there. Beautiful colours. I think they are forget-me-nots, those little blue flowers at the bottom, because I have those growing in my garden. Isn't that pretty? So you can see the roses there, a little bit of text in the background. You can see the balloon, and then on the other side you've got that lovely sort of linen effect, and it looks as though if you touch that you're going to feel that texture there, but obviously it is a paper. Then again, you've got the pieces of fruit, look, with the forget-me-nots again here. You've got the eucalyptus, I think that's what it is there, the leaves in there, but the wood effect that runs through these papers as well is absolutely gorgeous. So you've kind of got that vintage look about it. You've got a freshness about this as well, but if you wanted to use your inks and make it look a little bit more grungy, you certainly could do. You could knock the colours back, go with your gessos. Now, Lou was saying earlier that she hasn't seen the samples that we've got here in the studio, but when she has seen the samples that she's got, or the ones that she's come up with, everybody's kind of looked at the papers and done the same sort of thing. They've taken areas out, and I'll show you a couple of samples in a second with what I mean there. This one is an ideal one to look at if you want to take out those flower heads, use them individually, but also as a full page as well. I adore that piece. That's one of my favourite pieces. So there you're 12 by 12. You're getting 2 of each of those designs in the 12 by 12. You're getting 2 of each of the A4 as well. So let's have a look at these. Now, what I was saying earlier as well was we have different projects, don't we? We do scrapbooking, we do larger projects, we do pieces where, you know, you might want 6 by 6s so you can cut up your 12 by 12s. You might want that print a little bit smaller though, so you've got your 6 by 6 paper pads as well. So you've got every single option you're going to need here for your different projects with the size of the print. Whether you want to fussy cut, whether you want to use the paper in its entirety, you have got those options. These are just beautiful, aren't they? The more I look at these, the more I fall in love with them. I really do. Right, let's have a quick look at the paper pads as well, because for the full collection you're getting those. You have got 2 of them. Now, one of them, I'd say, looking at the cover especially, because you're getting the different designs on the front cover, you're going to see the same design running through from the 12 by 12 and the A4s as well. You've got 36 sheets in each of these, so you've got, in fact, 9 different designs in each book. I am just holding upside down again just because it makes it easy for me to flick a little bit, but you can see the colour palette, you can see the detail in this. I think one of them's probably got a little bit more of brightness in the way of colour in it as well. Very similar, I've got to say, because the colour palette is the same, but I think one's maybe slightly more muted. I might be wrong about that, we'll see as I flick through. But aren't they just beautiful? They're absolutely gorgeous. So that's one of them. So if I show you this one as well, see, looking at the front cover, a little bit more maybe in the way of the blue and the green in this one, so that's why I'm thinking perhaps a little bit more brightness in there. Yeah, I think a little bit more blue and green in this one, but you're getting them both, you don't have to choose. Oh, they are just stunning, aren't they? They really are. Absolutely gorgeous. Now let me just show you, what was I going to pick up and show you? Ah, this was it. Looking at some of the samples, what I was saying about taking areas of the paper out. Now this has probably come from the 6 by 6 rather than the 12 by 12, but you can see die cutting those flower heads out there. You've got the stamps and the dies that you can use as well in the collection. Some of them are being used on that particular sample. Also this one here, I recognise this die from the collection as well. We've got that again, you've got those flower heads there, you've got that beautiful colour scheme running through there. But of course it's not just the dies in the collection, you have got stamps as well. We've seen in the first demonstration the balloons, another lovely sample here made with the balloons. That is very, very clever indeed. Absolutely gorgeous. Do you know, whether you're using the balloons, the florals, just the papers, just the wood, you know, making your albums, everything, it just works so well together. There you go. So Freedom members, you really are making a great saving of £10.59, and of course splitting that payment down into 2 for you, we can do that. So 2 payments of just £25.17. Item number 605175. So that's the full collection. Do look on the website for the individuals. If you've got a particular favourite of papers, dies, that sort of thing, you'll see the different bundles available. Now let's go back to Lou because we want to see another demonstration.
Hi, I'm going to look at the 12 by 12s now. I love this absolutely beautiful balloon design on here, and this is one of them that's got, but I've got another one there, and the other one has it's almost like the French chic one where you've got like the writing and stuff on it. So I'd like to do this, I'd like to make it really, really simple, but I wanted to sort of use the same colour papers for the background. So what I did was I cut this out, so this came out of sort of here. And I cut that out, but here I decided that I wanted to be able to work on top of these papers. So I've gessoed this with transparent gesso. Now, why do I do that? Transparent gesso allows me to put a key on it. So what I can do is work on top of it as a gesso, but it won't be as, it won't absorb into the paper as much. So I'm going to now look at the colours. So I'm very much aware of these colours here, and I'm going to pick some colours in watercolours and in pencil form. So whichever you've got, it could be crayons. I mean, you might think, oh, that's too dark, but when you start to put that on with the browns, you start to look. So, and then don't forget, you'll have your little colour swatch there. You've got your little colour swatch, so you can pick up some of your purples and your pinks, and then think, yeah, right, okay. Your blues may not go with that. I might need a little bit more green. So pick up your pencils, and then we're going to start. So I'm going to start on this one. Now I've stamped this one. I've stamped it a couple of times because what I want to do is I want to be able to sort of try and do one in the distance. And I mean by cutting it up. So I'm going to start with my light colours, and I'm looking at these wonderful colours in the flowers, and I've got these lilacs. So I'm just going to start, and I'm going to do this bit. I'm only going to do one because very much aware that you don't need me to show you how to do it all. So on one side, a pencil line, the darkest one, and I'm just going to put a pencil line. Now because the gesso's on there, it is very much accepting this in a really nice way. You don't need a lot, believe you me, you don't need a lot. So on the opposite side, I'm going to put the lighter version. So we've got the dark light, and there's a reason for this, is because this will allow it to look more 3D. So you do that. So you do that with that colour, and you can change the colour here, you can put the patterns in, and you can be entirely up to you what you want to do with the colours, but do bear in mind that you want them to work with these. So you need to sort of think about bearing that in mind, but also do a little colour swatch. So say for instance up here, if I wanted to put a little bit there and a little bit there, put your colour down. This is called laying your colour down. And use this as your palette, because then what I can do is bring these in, and I'm going to use some watercolours as well to show you that. So I'm going to start very, very gently. I'm just going to put a bit of water on the darker one. Very much a case of very subtle, because if you look at this, I'll bring this in again to show you, it is very, very subtle, very subtle. So you look, it's there, it's green. I'll show you one in peach and one in green. So you want to keep that idea. So the next one, again, keep your water to a minimum, and you're just doing one side. Don't go over onto the other side yet. Don't touch that yet, because we don't want the two blending. So we're just doing one side. Now what I can do now is, while I'm doing this, I can go continue this, come back when it's all done with the different colours, and show you what the next step is. Last bit to this now, I went away and coloured in some of the balloons. I did two actually. I did one in the greens and then one in the blues, but the blues turned out more purple, but I just thought what a lovely way to contrast the colours, so I did two. But I really wanted to bring attention to this. So what I did was just take the matte and glaze away. If you can see, I've already started with a little bit of colour, and I'm just going to put in a little bit more colour here, and I'm sticking to the colours that are in, not only in the background, but also on the balloons I've done. So a little bit of brown there, and don't forget there's another one here as well. And I'm just going to go in with a tiny bit of the green. Now I am just following the shape of the actual balloon, so although you may not be able to see it, it is actually when you see the papers, you'll see it blends out. So just a little bit. Now bear in mind there's no gesso on this, so you could, if you wanted to, gesso it first. So I'm just bringing a little bit of water into, and this dries really lightly, so it won't overtake the colours that are already down there. So I would suggest, if you keep trying the colours, so that, see, that doesn't go there because that's there, but that would go there with there, and then I would maybe a bit of blue and pink in there. So I'm just thinking it needs a tiny bit more blue just to give it a bit more depth. Just there, like not too much. You want it to be present but not overpowering, and then let that blend there, and then bring in only with little strokes, and then, because you wouldn't really see. And then this one, I'm just going to give it a little bit of scribble there, and then blend that in. So this is all about using the papers to the full maximum, you know, the maximum sort of you can, because we tend to sort of just use them as backing papers, and when really all these are sort of really part of it. So what I've done is then I decided to do a matte and layer, but I don't matte and layer, as you know, but I wanted to go for a bit posh today. So I'm just going to be quick with gluing this on, otherwise a bit. So I've gone for a peach sort of pearl colour, and I've gone from one of the 6x6s that are in the paper pad that match the 12x12s, and they match everything else on it. So the green and the balloons and the background of the paper all match. Then what I decided to do was, using the word journey, I decided I was going to cut it out, and then I stuck it on some of the pink version of that, and I've got a little piece of pearl there if I so need. So you can see the colours all work together. So the next bit is really simple, really simple. You can see how, I'll show you now when I move this away. This is the 12x12 version, and this is the 6x6, so you can see how close up you get with that. So I'm just going to put that there in the middle. Just, is that even straight? Yeah. And I would let it rest, because paper needs to rest. So I'm going to put, I've already bent this around a little bit. Now you can be a little bit better than I have and colour in the basket properly, but I didn't. So I'm just popping over. Now if you put glue on that, you can move it. So I just want you to be able to see that. Now, got the idea of bringing it over there and there. I might just, because I can do that now, I might just bring it over a little bit more. And then I've got this one, which is on the 2. So the last bit now is I'm going to do this, and then the finishing bit of the card would be to put in. So the last bit there, put that on there. And I quite like the idea of them coming off the card, because they don't have to be on the card. And then I'm going to stick this on here. Yeah, you see, I don't know. This is where you'd have to, I say I like it like that. Just like that. Leave that there. You can put that on if you want, but there I am now, just with a little bit of journey. Now what I would do there is just where the underneath, you can see I'm really scrubbing now. Just do that, and 1 second of your time with there, and there you go. It's now giving it a bit of depth, and it looks very different to what it did. You can add everything you want to that now, but I hope you enjoyed trying yours.
Oh, I love that little trick at the end. I think it's so effective. There we are. So, details on the screen still for the full collection. You saw Lou using the papers there, the stamp, there's dies in the collection. There's all sorts, actually. We've got so many elements. Now, we've got the details there. Oh, let me just pop the paper pads back in for you so you can see what you're getting there as well. I have been showing those, but there we are. They are included as well. So, you've got the 2 6x6s. I think I've probably got them upside down now. Never mind, they are there. You've got your A4s, you've got your 12x12s, you've got all those dies and the stamps as well. And I can tell you over 20% of the stock has now gone on the full collection. So the saving is £10.59 if you're a Freedom member, and you've got the flexi buy option as well. So we can break that down into 2 payments. Lots of lovely dies there. Do you know, there's the fruit, there's the florals, we've got bows in there, we've got beautiful decorative elements in there as well. And then those stamps, really lovely. And of course you can see that theme running through the papers as well. You've got everything there in that gorgeous colour palette with the oranges, the peaches, the greens and the blues as well in those papers. Item number 605175. You can of course look out for the individuals. If you just want the papers, you can go for those. There's different options on the 1 day special with the die sets as well, but it's the full collection that most of you are going for. There we go. So don't forget, take advantage of the FlexiBuy option as well if you want to do that, of course. Now, moving on down as well, we have got more to show you as well because we've got some more dies, and you did find these early on as well. So we've got those journaling dies coming up as well. Let's have a little look at those. We'll give you the details. So the first one You have got the Mandala Journaling Die. We've also got the circle folds. Now, I have been just going through one or two more samples to see if I could find some more to show you as well, but let's have another look at the dies themselves first. So how many dies in total have we got in this one? I don't know if it actually tells you on the packet. Let's have a count. Right, one of them has 7, one has 5. So let's have a look. We've got we've got a little frame there. There's another frame there, so that's 2. We've got the full outer one, so that's a frame. And then we've got the 2 decorative ones there as well. Oh, and then that's a separate little one. So that looks like 7 dies in that one then, in the mandala. I'll show you some samples in a second. That is really, really pretty. And that works both ways up as well. Just some different options with that. You can make gatefold cards with those as well as journal pages, of course. And then you've got your, this is lovely as well, you've got your circle folds. Now, I've been told 5 dies in this one. Yes, we've got those little attachments that punch out those little holes as well. They look like little tickets, don't they? Fabulous. Let's have a look at the back of there so you can see again, you can work with these in different ways. You could, do you know, there's so many, I'm just looking at this now. Sometimes if I go quiet, it's because I've spotted something. I think, oh, I know what you could do with that. Let's have a look at one or two samples with these, because there we are. You can see the mandala decorative area there, and one of the rectangles has been taken out of the centre there, and then of course teamed with some of the fruits there, because you've got those stamps of course in the full collection. This is very clever because you're using the mandala again there and attaching them together. You can make a full frame. That's really nice. And then this sample as well, also using the mandala. So you've got so many different options depending on how you layer these up. The little book that I've got here as well, this is using the circle folds. So you can make your little albums out of this, you could make small cards, you could have these as fold-out pages in your journals and albums as well, so you've got options there. Great little bundle this one, £19.98 is the price, you're saving £6, item number 766179. Now we do have another new set of dies for you as well, more journaling dies for you. Now you're loving this one as well, and I did have a rummage through, and I have managed to find some samples using this one here with the floral border. Again, you've got options, so let's have a close look at these. We'll start with this one here because you've got your corroded edges. So you've actually got, by the looks of it, there's 3 separate dies in this one. So different sizes. So you could put these together. If you like your torn edges but you're not quite sure how the best way is to tear them, then of course the die does that for you. You've got of course those edges there, so they've just been torn from a notebook as well. Again, use portrait or landscape. Let me just turn that around so you can see the back image, because inking those edges on these as well is really going to sort of bring these to life as well. So there's one of the dies, and then we've also got the floral border one. Lovely shape to this. Kind of a nesting die there. You've got a stitching effect going on some of the elements there as well, which you can see on the inner one there. You've got the floral cutouts, which are really, really pretty. You can really lift those petals and leaves there as well. So a number of dies in that one. You're getting both of those sets. Let me just bring in the samples to show you as well. So the first one there, you can see that torn effect. I do like that a lot. Beautiful. You could just use your plain papers and overstamp there, or use your pattern papers as well. You can still overstamp if you want. Now the border one, the floral border, you can use this in so many different ways, but there, look, using the die and have it outstretched, so to speak, so you've got the double sort of page effect, or you could make miniature cards, or you could make album covers. Look at this one here, just using that there. Again, you can go either way up. That is very, very pretty. That would make a nice little pocket in an album as well. Again, you've got those options. £19.98 is the price here. Another £6 saving on this one, item number 023219. Now let's go over to the website, because over on the website, that's where you're going to find everything, of course. Now don't forget, it's the full collection where the biggest value is. That's what most of you are going for. But if you want to break it down, you've got 2 different options on the one-day special. The one-day special itself are the dies and the stamps. So you've got 2 options there. £19.97, so you can go for those. If you're wanting the papers, you can go for the papers. You've got the 12x12s, you've got the A4s, and you've got the 6x6s as well, if you want to go for those as an extra. So for the 12x12 and the A4, you're getting 16 papers in total for £10.99. Then you've got those 6x6s for £9.99. Remember, that's for both of them, not each. You get both of those pads, so there's 36 pages in each of those as well. Great buy there. But the full collection is where the value is. You can see it on there, and you've got a flexi buy option as well. You can break that payment down, and if you're a Freedom member, you've got a great saving actually. You really have. Freedom price £50.33. It has been a very busy hour. We're going to be back at 8 o'clock. We'll see more from Lou, of course, in the way of tutorials. Don't forget to check your baskets out. Don't know how long this is going to be around for, but it is absolutely flying. Stay there though, more to come.